Now, let's do a case study together. Let me tell you a story of Aisha. So, Aisha is a kind and thoughtful wife. She always tries to make things easy for her husband, Kareem. One day, he complimented her as soon as she woke up in the morning. He said, "You're so gorgeous." And she thought of her messy hair and dry face and quickly rejected that compliment on the inside. And she told herself, he's just being nice. I know how I look. The husband noticed the discomfort. Even though she politely smiled, but this dialogue in her head, "Oh, I know how I look. He's just being nice." So this polite rejection in her brain, it translated in her expression without her knowing. So the husband noticed that, and he said to himself, she doesn't like being praised as soon as she wakes up in the morning. I better make note of that. I don't want to annoy her. Later on, he offered to help her in the kitchen, and she placed a gentle hand on his arm and said, "Jazakallah khair. But you are so tired. You just came from work. So sit down, please." And then later, he thought to treat her with an expensive cuisine. He said, "Honey, let me treat you to a nice restaurant that just opened." So she said, "That's so sweet of you." "Oh, but that's expensive. And let's do this instead." And then she wanted to go to a nearby shop. He offered to drive her, and she replied warmly. She was so kind and considerate. So she said, "Oh, that's okay. He's just nearby. I'll go by myself. Don't worry about me." Now, over time, Kareem stopped offering. He stopped surprising her. And he did love her deeply, and he thought she knew it. But after a while, Aisha began to feel lonely and uncared for. She sat by herself one evening and whispered, "Ya Allah, he's not romantic. He doesn't even try." Now, ladies, can you relate to Aisha? Can you see her underlying problem? It is her mindset. Even though she thought she was being considerate, she didn't want to burden him, or she didn't want to waste money, or seem demanding. But what she was actually doing was depriving her husband of being the giver. And over time, he got used to it. And this happens. And the Arabic saying that I love is that your child will be how you train him, and your child will be how you bring him up, and your husband will be what you get him used to. So we subconsciously, we start training our husbands to not give, to not do things for us. Ladies, your marriage will get as good as you let it become, as you can tolerate. Because most women can subconsciously not tolerate, not accept, not receive that much love and pampering. Subconsciously, most women reject it. Do you have a pampered mindset, my dear lady? Because men are givers by nature. That Allah has made them to spend their money, to put efforts to give. And that ladies are takers, and the more you can take gracefully, happily, the more you can receive without feeling guilty, the more you are going to get bi'idhnillah. Ladies, if you take nothing else from this session, but you master this one skill, you work this one muscle, is the muscle of receiving gracefully, then inshallah, your husband will become a giver. So now the real question is, can you receive? You can get him used to fulfilling your emotional needs. If you have in the past rejected those, if you have in the past gotten him used to not giving, if you have rejected him in the past, then now you can start changing. Now you can start retraining him and get him used to fulfill your emotional needs. For example, you can say things like, "Oh, where is my hug today?" Is it like playfully? Ask for these things. Because if he's used to those patterns, then sometimes he doesn't even realize that he's not being kind and considerate, not being romantic. So train him. This is your right, sister. This is your right, ladies. Don't pretend or feel pride that, okay, if he didn't do it by himself, then I don't even want it. What kind of hug is it that I have to ask for? It has to be impromptu. It has to come from him. No, get him used to it. Get him used to playfully asking for these small gestures. And men love that. They love to be able to do these things for you. And if he's not used to praising you, for example, you can praise yourself initially and get him agree to it. For example, you cooked a nice meal, right? And your husband didn't appreciate it. You can take a bite. This looks delicious. It tastes delicious. Don't you agree? And he was like, yeah, it's very nice. He might add in 1 or 2 praises for himself. So sometimes he doesn't notice these small things, that we can get him used to these things. This is your right. If you don't get these things from your husband, where are you going to get them from? So train him, inshallah, to do these things for you.